I have a problem, but I think I have a good solution. Tomorrow I'm doing a cutout at an apartment complex where I have 2 separate colonies to cut out. That's not the problem. The problem is that I have 1 BVAC, and the apartment complex is too far away for me to practically run home, put the bees into a hive, and then run back to do the second cutout. So I need a second BVAC or some container to put the bees in from 1 colony while I remove the others. This BVAC is the one I built a few years ago, and I posted a video about that. I'll put a link above so you can go back and watch that video if you'd like. But I really don't want to build another whole BVAC. All I really need is another catch box, but I kind of want to make something smaller. This BVAC is really a little bigger than it needs to be. It's a little bulky to carry around. It does work well, but I'm not sure I want to make multiple boxes of the same size. After all, I really wouldn't be using them that often. So I think I've come up with a better, more portable solution, and that's what I'm going to be building today. To start out, I want to share a little bit about how the BVAC works. Some people were a little confused when I posted my last video, and so I want to explain a little more about basically the engineering behind the BVAC. The BVAC itself is made up of 2 compartments. I have the vacuum compartment where I have my vacuum head, and this is a bucket head vacuum head from Home Depot. It's made to fit on top of a 5-gallon bucket, and when I built this I cut off a 5-gallon bucket to make a mount for it on top of this box. The nice thing about using the bucket head vac for a BVAC is it's not a super powerful vacuum head. It's made to use, I believe it's a 1.5-inch hose. And when I use the BVAC, I'm using a 2.5-inch hose, so I'm reducing the air velocity so as not to injure the bees. And what confused a lot of people is trying to figure out how I got the vacuum to come in at this fitting rather than this fitting. Well, you might be able to see here, I have this hose connector just taped over, so it's completely capped off. The way the vac head works is it actually suctions from underneath. Actually, I can pull this off and show you. Pulls air in through here and blows it out through the exhaust. But this intake is just a direct pass-through into the container. So when I put the vacuum head on here and close off this intake, then it still wants to draw air from inside the box. It just can't pull outside air in through this opening. So that's where it comes in. I create another opening, which is down here on my bottom box. The bottom box is my catch box, and that is where the bees go. Between the catch box and the vacuum box, I have a screen. So I have this board in between them has a number 8 screen, number 8 hardware cloth, and it takes all the vacuum pressure from this head and spreads it out over the entire area of this box. So that's the general engineering, is that we have a vacuum head, creates low pressure in this top box, which pulls air, draws air from this bottom catch box, and that air is coming in through this intake. So what I'm going to build as a secondary catch container is just a bucket container, and I'm going to be following the same general engineering. I want to have a catch container to hold the bees and an intake where the air is coming into that catch container. I want to have a vacuum area where there's low pressure that's drawing air from that catch container, and so my vacuum head will be connected to that vacuum area. And in between, I want a large area with screen for the air to pass through from the catch container to the vacuum container. To make that, I'm going to use a 5-gallon bucket, have a lid for the 5-gallon bucket. This is just a paint strainer that will go on top of the bucket. It has a mesh screen on here that is made to filter paint. Really, a person could also use this, I believe, for filtering honey. The one thing I don't know is if it's food safe. That goes on top of the bucket. Now, it doesn't really latch on there, so I will probably use duct tape to hold that on. But that gives me an area here, which is my vacuum container. Underneath will be my catch container. I will drill a hole in the side of the bucket and put a valve on there, or a gate if you prefer, that will be the intake. And then I'll put a bucket lid on top. I may have to tape this on temporarily to hold that vacuum in. And I'll put another gate on top, and I'll draw air through that in order to create my low pressure inside of the bucket. Now, if somebody wanted to build this as a standalone BVAC, I think that you absolutely could do that. The only thing is you would need some type of extension on there. If you used the Home Depot bucket head vac, you would need enough space on there to handle this bottom section. Even if you cut off this screen part up here, it still extends down farther than this paint filter. So someone could get creative with this and cut off another bucket and create some sort of an extension on this, but that is not how I'm going to put this together. I'm just going to take a short section of hose to connect my intake, or my outflow, I guess in this case, to create that gate on top of the bucket with the intake on my BVAC. So we'll go from the bucket into the BVAC here. No bees are going to be passing through this for my first swarm catch. I'm just using the low pressure in my BVAC to create low pressure in this catch bucket. So once I'm done catching that first colony of bees, I'll have them in this bucket. I can take the lid off so that it'll ventilate this. The bees won't be trapped in there without any sort of airflow. And I can set this aside in the shade while I go and do my second cutout, and in that case I'll catch the bees in the box. Now this is sort of a how-to video, but it's also a let's try this and see how it works. The first thing I'm going to do here is mark and cut this bucket lid to fit this gate, and I want to put it on here so it'll fit down flat on the surface, and then when I pull the gate out there's nothing over here to interfere with it. Let me turn it this way so you can see. So it'll fit, the gate will mount on this side, but when I pull the gate open, then nothing will interfere with it over here. If I were to mount this in the middle, then this edge may interfere when I try to open that gate all the way. This is a job that would be much easier if I had a hole saw, but I don't, so I'm going to be using a skill saw, or a jigsaw if you rather. Drill myself a pilot hole. Okay, maybe I made it a little bit big, but I'm going to be sealing it on here with caulk, so that'll seal that up. Opens and closes just fine. It lays flat on that lid, so we'll go ahead and seal this down. Caulked around that, so it should seal that. It'll glue it down, and once it's cured it should be sealed up, and it should be by tomorrow cured enough for use. Now we'll set that aside to dry and cut our hole in the bucket. I'm going to put this as high as I can on the bucket without interfering with the free movement of the gate here. Very often when people make a BVAC, they will put some type of padding in there on the opposite wall from the intake, maybe just like a piece of sponge or something soft, so that as the bees come in there, they're hitting against something soft and not running into a hard wall. But I think the air velocity of this system is low enough that that's not really a necessity. I've never had an issue in my bigger box. Now granted, that is a bigger box, but also the bees aren't really going through that hose at a huge rate of speed. When I built this, like I said, I have the bucket vac head, which isn't a real powerful head to start with, and then running the air through the larger diameter hose reduces that air velocity. And if the bees do seem to be getting pulled through too quickly, I have a vent on top of the BVAC that I can open up so that I can draw more air in through that other opening, which will further reduce the volume of air being moved through the hose. I'm being very generous with my caulk on here. I want it to hold well, and I want it to seal well. And my spacing is good here. My the gate, I have about 1/4 inch, maybe slightly better, maybe 3/8 of an inch there between this lip on the bucket and the top of this gate. So that should be plenty of space. Let that dry, and we'll come back in a little while and see how it works. It's been several hours and the caulk is still setting, but I think it's probably set enough right now that we can give a gentle trial run to our add-on BVAC catch box here. So I'm going to kind of put things together and see how it runs. What I'm most curious about is with the lid on, whether the lid will seal well enough without having to tape it on, or if I'm going to have to use duct tape to put the lid on. It'd be nice if I don't have to, but I have a feeling it's just not going to seal all that well. There's no rubber gasket there or anything to seal it. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to duct tape the filter screen on top of the bucket because it needs to stay in place no matter what, at least until I'm ready to pull it off and dump the bees out. Now when I run a trial on this, I am not going to attach a hose to this yet because, again, that caulk is still setting up and I don't want to wiggle that around much at all. So now we'll put the lid on and grab my short hose here. Alright, I want to make sure that hose isn't pulling that off at all. Let's see what happens. There you go. You may have been able to tell as I was covering up that intake, it was affecting this lid. It was sucking the lid down because it was creating a pretty solid vacuum inside of there. I pulled that hose off because as that was wiggling, that hose was leaning to the side and kind of pulling this gate off. So obviously I want to get that on there, let that caulk cure completely before I mess around with it anymore. Overall, it looks like it worked great, even without any sort of gasket sealing that lid. So super happy about that. And I think we are set for tomorrow. As for using this in an extraction, that's going to be a subject for a future video, so stay tuned for that. If you click on the link below to join as a member of this channel, you'll get to see that video before everybody else. Surprise! I didn't get the earlier portion of this video edited as quickly as I wanted, so I've already been out to do that cutout and test out the canister that I made as a secondary catch box for my BVAC. So I figured I would add this on to the video to give a follow-up report on how it worked. And in a nutshell, it worked great, just as designed, and the only problems I had were really my fault. Here's the lid that I made, and I did not give enough time for that caulk that I used to glue the gates on to fully cure. And because of that, and especially as that lid would flex because of the vacuum, the gate on the lid ended up coming loose. That did not create a problem during the extraction, I guess because the vacuum kind of held things together. Obviously it's coming apart now, so I'll have to redo that. And as you saw earlier, that lid flexes. It may be a little bit of an issue anyway. I think once the caulk is fully cured, it should be all right. But I may take a couple pop rivets and put in the edges of this just to kind of hold things more secure. Haven't quite decided that, but that was the only real downfall. The gate on the side, when I went to put the hose on, it was a little flexible, but even just now it's much more secure than it was. I will probably, because it was wiggling around, I'll probably go ahead and pull that off and re-caulk it and re-secure it. The problem with this is that because of the curve of the bucket, I can't put rivets in the outside edges, and because of the movement of the gate, I can't really put rivets in the top and bottom. There is a little lip here on the bottom. I might be able to secure it there, but I think this is going to hold more securely because there's not as much flex in the body of that. As far as the screen, that worked just fine. You saw me tape that on. Worked fine with the duct tape. Caught the bees. Had very little injury to the bees when I dumped them out at their new location. There were a few dead bees in there, but not a lot, and really the number that there was could be attributed to bees that got rolled or something in the process of extracting them, and not necessarily an issue with this catch bucket. Inside the bucket, there's a lot of debris in there. A lot of bee poop spots along the edges and some debris at the bottom, and a lot of that debris that's in there may be stuff that was picked up as part of the extraction. I talked earlier about the velocity of the air, and it doesn't really pull the bees through that quickly, and that's correct. Those of you who build a BVAC, based on my earlier video, I actually had somebody who complained that said the bees weren't really being pulled all the way through the hose. And I would prefer that the bees not be violently pulled all the way through. I do often find when I'm doing an extraction like that on occasion I have to go through the hose and kind of shake it to get the bees moving along. If the bees fly, it's going to pull them down, but if they get their feet down on the inside of the hose, then they can hang on pretty well, and then the bees can hang on to other bees and so on. So sometimes they do kind of get stuck in the hose a little bit, and I just shake them down. It's never a big problem. I have heard people say that for a bee vacuum you want to have a 5-foot rule, and that is that if bees have all 6 feet down on the comb and able to hang on, then the BVAC will have trouble picking them up. But if they pick up 1 foot, then it should be able to pull them off the comb. So it's hard to judge that scientifically, but you kind of get a feel for that you're able to pull off bees, but it's not doing so in a violent fashion. Overall though, this catch bucket worked great. There were no problems at all, and as far as during the extraction process, and when it came to moving them in to a new location, it was super simple just to pull that tape off, shake the bees down to the bottom of the bucket, take the screen off, and then just easily dump them out on a board in front of their new hive, or dump them into your new hive. I did get video during the extraction. I was working alone, so it's hard to be the person doing the extraction and the camera operator at the same time. I haven't reviewed that video yet. Hopefully that will be coming up soon. In the meantime, if you found this video useful, then you may also like this other video that YouTube has selected especially for you. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you next time.